Hello again, and welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and the Castaway video seemed to do pretty good. I got quite a few emails and whatnot on there, and so I figured, well, if that's what some of you like, then let's keep going. And so, as you saw in the title of this, is we're going to go over the rules from the movie Zombieland. Now, I find it somewhat fascinating that some people care about what I'm wearing, so to do that, I am, yes, wearing my zombie response t-shirt in lieu of doing the zombie episodes here. Now there's about 35-ish rules, and so we're not going to do them all in one. We're going to break this up into a little mini series. We'll probably do about five each one. I'll go through and I will list what the rule is, and we'll talk about it and how it can be something that we can utilize into the world of preparedness. Now, keep in mind, it's Zombieland, so it's kind of like a survivalist movie. I get it, it's Hollywood, it's all scripted. Doesn't mean that we can't learn from it and take things away, out of that. And so we'll do this probably in fives, and we'll just do a small little mini series. Try and keep them about 10 minutes or so, so it's not terribly long. Uh, and then we'll see how it all goes. And let's just jump right into it, okay? So, number one, cardio. Now, I like this, that this is, right up there. Number one, first rule, cardio. Cardio is not only getting into shape, but it's maintaining and building your stamina. Now, all of us, myself included, can get into a little better shape. And we could utilize that. I am really happy that this is rule number one. It's a great reminder that we need to not only get out there and to do things to get our bodies into shape, but to build our stamina. We don't know how long SHTF is going to happen. It could be something of 12 hours, 12 days, 12 weeks, 12 years. We have no idea. And so we need to make sure that we are prepared as possible in order to have the stamina in order to endure it. And so I want to make sure that, they obviously stress this very, very high. It's number one on the list. So it needs to be high for us too, to make sure that we self assess and that we understand where our physical fitness and our stamina levels are. And, if it's something that we need to work on, I need to work on. Uh, so far, this list is actually doing pretty good. Yes, we're at number one. Let's check out number two. So, number two, double tap. Now, in the movie, it's to make sure that the zombie that you just pulled the trigger on is actually down for the, count there. And so let's back it up and broad stroke it. It's double checking is really what it is. And so anything that you do is, should be done correctly. And so you want to make sure that you go back and you double check yourself. If you are doing something, then whatever you are doing, you are committing your time, your resources, your energy, you're committing all sorts of things to doing this task, and you need to make sure that it's worthwhile. Because if it's not, then why are you doing it in the first place? Now, yes, you're going to have to take some time and do things to decompress, take a break, take, a little breather, and give your body a chance. You're going to need to take a time to invest in yourself in entertainment. You got to make sure that your mood's good and that you're building relationships and having fun. Life is short. It shouldn't be 100% work. It's okay to hang out with the mag and laugh and have a good time, as long as that's not what all of it is about. You have to be able to balance the work and the play. And that's how it goes. Work gets things done, play builds up respect, it builds up brotherhood, and they're both very important. But when it comes into this, you need to double check everything that you're doing. If you put something together, run back through all the bolts and everything. Is everything tight? You don't want to do that thing where first thing in the morning, you do all your morning routine, you jump in the car, you're halfway down the road, and you go, did I leave the stove on? Okay. Double check yourself. If you double check, you set yourself up for a better success that it was done correctly, and now you don't have to worry about it. Now, let's move on to number three. Beware of bathrooms. Okay, again, let's step back and let's do a broader stroke on this. So, in this, they give it a really good thing of you don't want to be caught with your pants down, literally. you're going to be in those inevitable situations to where you are going to be vulnerable. Okay. You have to eat, you have to sleep, you have to go to the bathroom. You're vulnerable in that. And being in that vulnerable state really makes it to where it can be dangerous. Now you can do different things. You can, take somebody with you to be a lookout. You can secure the area a little bit better. You can do different things to set yourself up to be, have a safer environment or whatnot when you're in that vulnerable state. But it's a really good rule. Beware of those vulnerabilities. So let's move on to where are we at? Four. Number four, wear seatbelts. Now, maybe in a long-term SHTF, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of driving around, but we can, again, back up, broad stroke this and do safety. You need to remember safety. And so, just as a seatbelt is a safety device in order to keep you safe while you're, doing any sort of transportation, it's other things. It's eye protection, it's ear protection, it's putting something over your head for colder elements, it's gloves, it's anything along those lines that is going to keep you safe while you're doing a certain task. And so to put this in here, again, yes, you have to kind of see what they actually mean to it because they're putting it towards the actual movie and making it specific. We have to draw back and see what does this really mean? And so in something like this, when it's seatbelts, it's a safety check. Okay. Now, number five, no attachments. Now, again, we're going to have to take it a little bit out of context of the movie to see what, the broad spectrum of this is. And when it comes to attachments, it means don't take unnecessary attachments to materialistic and things that don't really have that value. It's okay to have an attachment to, you know, certain things, but you can't take and name your sheep and then have that attachment lead to an excuse that puts everything into a dangerous situation. Well, we're all hungry, but I don't want to eat Bob the sheep, and so we're gonna give him another day or two and see if we can't forage or find food. Okay, you don't know if somebody's gonna come in the middle of the night and take that sheep. Now you have no food. You don't know if that sheep's going to get out, run away. Now you have no food. Okay, and so it's the same thing when it comes to a firearm or a tool or something along those lines. Is that you don't want to have that unnecessary attachment to where you go out and you put yourself or the mag or group or whatnot into a dangerous situation because of an unnecessary and really silly attachment. And so I'm glad that they put that into that rule list. Now, let's run back through them really quick just as a broad overview and kind of tie all this. So, one, cardio. Get into shape, do what you got to do to maintain that level of fitness and build your stamina. Okay. All that's really going to be important during an SHTF situation. Double tap, check yourself. Make sure that whatever you've done, you've gone back through and you've looked at it. Okay. I've done it. Now I'm going to go back through and double check and make sure because during SHTF, all those resources and everything are extremely valuable. You can't take and put something up and build something and then just go, yep, it's done, walk away in the first windstorm, it's all destroyed. You don't get to go to Walmart or Lowe's or whatever and buy more. Whatever you have may be what you have. Number three is remember to be aware of the bathrooms. Okay. You're going to be vulnerable. It's going to happen. And so you need to make sure that your guard is up and you're well aware of it. You can pre-plan to make it safer, but it's important. Be aware that you're going to have vulnerability times. Four, seatbelts. It's a safety check. Make sure that when you go to do a task, don't get complacent and be lazy to where you're like, well, I don't have time or it's easier to do it this way. No, if it requires some sort of safety device and you have the ability to make it to where you can do it safer, it's going to be, behoove of you to do that, especially like eye protection. Can you imagine that you're doing some sort of woodwork or something and a little tiny piece of whatever jumps into your eye, and the second that it does, here comes 10 people over the hill. Are you going to try and fend off and do things while you're trying to get a little piece of something out of your eyeball? Okay, Don't put yourself in that situation. Put something on. Last, no attachments. Again, don't have unnecessary and ridiculous attachments to things that doesn't mean anything. If it's your only firearm, yeah, you might be able to talk me into not really an attachment, but its value. You can't sit here and have some sort of thing of like, hey, this is my lucky stapler, so I'm going to go take and put myself and the mag and everybody else into a dangerous situation because I dropped my lucky stapler. Okay, I know it's silly, but there's people that do that. And if you are going to take and make yourself a liability to where you put it myself, other people, children, elderly into danger over a very unnecessary attachment, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to take and protect my group from liability. I don't need you adding to it, and you're going to have to go. Okay, so, uh, but I had fun. That's the first five of the rule list, and so make sure that you keep an eye out as we add to it, and we'll run through the whole list. But that's what I've got for you today. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you just want to say hi, drop it down in the comments. Do all the fun YouTube things. You guys know what's going on. Thank you guys for spending a little bit of time with me. I hope you guys have a blessed day. Stay tuned. There's more information to come and more rules to go over. And with that, remember to remain united because we're all prepping in this together.